Very sad news. Loudly crying face the hidden tears of BTS Jin nobody knew. Loudly crying face the heartbreaking truth behind his smile. The stadium lights blaze with an intensity that could blind a normal person, and the roar of 50,000 voices creates a wall of sound that vibrates through the very floor. Standing at the center of this hurricane is a man known to the world as Jin. To the millions watching, he is the embodiment of confidence, the worldwide handsome figure who blows kisses to the camera and cracks jokes that send waves of laughter through the crowd. But when the lights dim and the music fades, there is a silence that few get to see. It is in this silence that the true story of Jin begins, not as a global superstar, but as a young man named Kim Seok-jin who never intended to be an idol, and who fought a quiet, desperate battle against his own limitations to find his place in a world that demanded perfection. To understand the weight Jin carries, one must look back to the days before the fame, back to when he was simply a university student dreaming of becoming an actor. Unlike his bandmates who are underground rappers or street dancers, Kim Seok-jin had no background in singing or dancing. He was scouted on the street, purely for his visual appearance. While this sounds like a stroke of luck, various media sources suggest that this origin became the root of a deep-seated insecurity that would haunt him for years. Imagine walking into a practice room and standing next to prodigies who breathed music since childhood. While others were refining their craft, Jin was starting from zero. He was not just learning to dance. He was learning how to move a body that felt foreign to the rhythm. He was not just learning to sing. He was trying to find a voice that he wasn't sure he possessed. The early days of training were described by fans and observers as a brutal test of endurance. While verified details of private conversations are rare, early footage and interviews paint a picture of a young man who often stayed behind when others rested. He had to work 3 times as hard just to keep up. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes from being the oldest in a group yet feeling like the one who knows the least. He had to be the older brother, the pillar of support for the younger members, while internally battling the terrifying thought that he might be holding them back. He swallowed his pride day after day, repeating dance steps until his muscles screamed, driven by a fear that he would be the reason the team failed. As BTS began their ascent, the pressure on Jin did not vanish, it transformed. The criticism from the public was often sharp and unforgiving. In the early years, comments about his dancing or his vocal stability were common online. For a sensitive person, these words cut deep. Yet, Jin rarely showed this pain. He chose to wear a mask of cheerfulness. He became the mood maker, the one who would embarrass himself to make others laugh. But behind the laughter, there was a struggle for identity. In his solo song Awake, released years later, he finally gave the world a glimpse into his heart. He sang about how he might never fly like the flower petals, referring to his members, but he would still try to run. It was a heartbreaking admission of self-doubt. He did not believe he was a genius like the others. He did not believe he was naturally gifted. He simply refused to stop running. The year 2018 marked a turning point that shook the entire fandom and the industry. During the Mama Awards, in a moment of raw vulnerability, Jin stood before the microphone, tears streaming down his face, and confessed that the group had considered disbanding earlier that year. It was a shocking revelation. Behind the record-breaking charts and the global tours, the mental burden had become so heavy that they almost walked away from it all. It was Jin who voiced this pain. It was Jin who admitted that the weight of expectations had almost crushed them. This was not the confident superstar speaking. This was a human being who had reached his breaking point and was brave enough to admit that he was scared. Even after conquering the world, the shadow of imposter syndrome lingered. When BTS reached the pinnacle of success, hitting #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Jin did not feel pure joy. Instead, he felt a crushing sense of unworthiness. In a verified letter to fans released with his song Abyss, Jin revealed that he suffered from severe burnout. He questioned whether he deserved such massive accolades. He received counseling to navigate these dark waters. It is a profound realization for the viewer to understand that the man standing at the top of the world felt like he was sinking into a deep ocean. He felt small. He felt insufficient. The glitz and glamour were external, but the darkness was internal, and it was a battle he fought largely in silence, hidden behind his signature smile. However, it is in this very struggle that Jin's true strength is revealed. He did not let the darkness consume him. Instead, he turned his pain into comfort for others. He used his platform to speak about mental health, about the validity of feeling tired, and about the importance of self-love. His anthem, Epiphany, became a lifeline for millions. Standing on stage, singing about realizing that he is the one he should love, Jin was not just performing. He was healing himself. He taught his fans that you do not have to be perfect to be worthy. You do not have to be the best dancer or the best rapper to have a voice that matters. His journey from the visual member to the silver voice of Korea is not a story of talent. It is a story of relentless, agonizing hard work. People love Jin not because he is a flawless idol, but because he is deeply, beautifully human. He is the man who wakes up early to cook for his members, ensuring they are fed before he feeds himself. He is the one who carries a stuffed toy or wears a silly hat at the airport just to see his members smile when they are exhausted. Fans and media alike have noted his unique leadership style. He leads from behind, supporting the younger ones, letting them shine, and stepping in only when he is needed to protect them or lift the mood. He does not demand respect. He earns it through kindness. He treats the staff, the camera crew, and the junior artists with the same politeness he shows to executives. Financial success and awards have naturally followed his career. According to various media outlets, Jin has accumulated significant wealth through his work with BTS and his investments. Yet, those who follow him closely know that these numbers mean little compared to his personal values. He has been known to donate silently to causes he believes in, often without seeking publicity. His definition of success seems to have shifted from seeking validation to finding peace. When the time came for his mandatory military service, a moment that many feared would dim his light, Jin faced it with quiet dignity. He did not ask for special treatment. Reports from the military training centers indicated that he became an assistant instructor, a role reserved for those who show exemplary discipline and leadership. Even in the harsh winter, away from the luxury of his idle life, Kim Seok-jin stood tall. He proved that his resilience was not an act for the cameras. It was the core of who he is. Now, as he looks toward the future, Jin stands as a symbol of hope for late bloomers and dreamers everywhere. He has expressed a desire to live a life that is happy, a life where he can continue to sing for those who listen. He has shown that it is okay to be afraid. It is okay to feel like you are not enough. What matters is that you do not let that fear stop you. He has transformed from the boy who was afraid of dancing into a man who dances with joy. He has evolved from the student who felt he had no voice into an artist whose voice comforts millions. As the story of Jin continues to unfold, there is a profound sense of respect that settles in the heart of the viewer. We realize that the worldwide handsome title is not just about his face. It is about the beauty of a spirit that refused to break. He walked through the fire of criticism, swam through the abyss of self-doubt, and emerged not hardened, but softer, kinder, and stronger. In the end, when the music stops and the cheers fade away, we are left with the image of a man standing quietly in the center of the stage. He looks out into the vast ocean of lights, a gentle smile on his face. He is no longer chasing the approval of others. He is no longer running to catch up. He is simply Jin. And in that silent acceptance, in that quiet strength, he has found his true self. The journey was long, The road was painful, but he made it. And he did it while holding the door open for the rest of us to follow.